Hello, my name is Kelly Bobo, and I will be giving my group's presentation on the topic which we chose, which was abortion, the arguments for and against abortion. I was a part of a group with Erica Calderon, Christina Segura, and Andrea Michelle. Each of us wrote the slides and edited the slides. We each sort of had a hand in how all of it turned out. And our topic, abortion, is a taboo subject that not everyone wants to talk about, but it is a very real and personal issue that faces people with uteruses every day, and a lot of people have an opinion on it. So let's see what ours is. An argument for abortion is whenever it comes to the health of the mother. There are circumstances where a woman may be at risk for certain health issues during a pregnancy that are or may be life-threatening to the mom, as can be seen in an article by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists from 2019. In the article, it details how a woman's body goes through a lot of changes in the lead up to a pregnancy, and these changes can affect the overall balance of the woman's body for the worse. And there are situations in which termination of the pregnancy is the only thing that can preserve a patient's life or a patient's overall health and prevent any chronic conditions after the pregnancy is over. Another argument for abortion is in the case of potential abnormalities in the fetus. Sometimes abortion is an option for women whose babies are diagnosed with severe health challenges. Some women choose abortion after discovering that the fetus has a profound abnormality or the potential for some life-threatening disorder that could result in death before or shortly after birth, or in some serious defect that could affect the fetus's life later down the line. Some women, many women, would rather the pregnancy be terminated than have their child live a life where they can't really experience it to the fullest. Another argument for abortion is, female autonomy. The option to have an abortion gives a woman complete control over her body. The decision to have a kid, no matter the circumstance, should be the mother's choice. Women cannot be enslaved to anyone's idea of what her life should be. The laws that are being passed right now are only making it more dangerous for women to do what they have already chosen for themselves. And another argument for the availability of abortion is the mental health of rape victims or sexual abuse victims. Victims of violence are among those that are faced with the decision to have an abortion, and abortion is an option that can save the mother and the child from years of resentment and mental anguish. No one should be forced to bear a child, especially victims of violence. And, there's a source from Holmes. Basically, it goes into detail about the percentage of rape-related pregnancy among victims of reproductive age, about how basically the amount of rape victims that will bear a child if not given the access to an abortion. And another argument for the choice to have an abortion is dysfunction in the child that would be born otherwise. Children that are born as the result of the mother being denied an abortion are, according to an NCBI article on the subject, less well-adjusted socially, more frequently in psychiatric care, and more often found in criminal registers. They're also more prone to verbal and physical abuse, especially if they are born into a family that is of low socioeconomic standing. On average, children born against their mother's wishes fare worse than their peers. Now on to the arguments against available abortions. The first of which is long-lasting effects on the health of the mother. Abortions do have physical side effects, or can have physical side effects to the extent that it can leave women infertile. There have been studies in the past to suggest that women who have had an abortion were more likely to have miscarriages, premature births, and pregnancy/birthing complications in later pregnancies. Having an abortion now can cause issues with future pregnancies. And another argument against available abortion is that of the beginning of consciousness, or the question of when is a person a person. The morality of abortion depends to some extent on how the embryo or fetus deserves to be treated. In what sense is it a moral patient, whether it has the moral rights not to be harmed and to pursue a life, what kind of moral consideration it is owed. We seem to take the moral status of a being to depend on its metaphysical or physical status. For example, we think humans and rocks deserve different kinds of treatment because they are different metaphysically or physically. So it might be that the moral status of an embryo or fetus depends on its metaphysical or physical status, whether it is a person, whether it is conscious, whether it has a soul, etc. Moral status alone might not determine whether abortion is morally permissible, though for some thinkers believe other factors might override the moral status of the fetus. This was discussed in a School of Medicine, University of Missouri article in 2020. Another argument against abortion is the guilt in the mother for taking a life. Making the choice to have an abortion may weigh on the mental health of the person having the abortion because, whether it is medically necessary or not, choosing abortion is, to some people, taking a life. While the effects of abortion on the emotion of the person having the abortion are debated, while some studies suggest that most women don't have long-term regrets about their abortion decisions or adoption decisions, others conclude that women who choose abortion may be more likely to suffer from mental health problems, as can be seen in an article on unplanned pregnancy in 2021. Another argument against abortion is that of many groups' religious beliefs, which are often tied directly to those groups' sort of moral compasses. Many different religious groups believe that abortion is wrong because of how their religious texts define the beginning of life. Christians, for instance, often believe that life begins at conception. Therefore, many conservative Christians view abortion as a form of murder, because they think that fetus is a person, and therefore apply any rights that a grown person has to the fetus. And in Islam, beliefs concerning abortion are somewhat more lax, seeing as Islamic texts dictate that ensoulment, the point at which the fetus gains personhood, happens at 120 days after conception. However, abortion for any other reason than potential health risks to the mother and deadly deformities in the child are still considered a sin before 120 days, and abortion after 120 days is classified as an even more heinous crime. So basically, you're still doing something wrong before that point, and after that point, it is not good. Seeing as religion dictates morality for many, and especially those within those groups, it makes sense that people from these groups feel so strongly that abortion is wrong. And as can be seen in American history, and in the history of many other cultures, religion can absolutely affect the moral sort of beliefs of a culture. And so, There are a lot of people who, even though they don't identify as Christian or as Muslim, sort of the overall beliefs from the religions that have affected their culture can affect their understanding of what is right and what is wrong. And the biggest sort of force working against the access to abortion in Texas at the moment is the new law that went into effect in Texas that bans abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy, which is well before most women even know that they're pregnant. The law allows private citizens to sue abortion providers and anyone else who helps a woman obtain an abortion, including those who give a woman a ride to a clinic or provide financial assistance to obtain an abortion. Private citizens who bring these suits don't need to show any connection to those they are suing. The law makes no exceptions for cases including rape or incest, and it is one of the strictest abortion bans in the country. It bans abortion as soon as cardiac activity is detectable, which is, as it was said before, around 6 weeks, which is why it's called the heartbeat law. Many different groups have tried to sort of stop the making of this law and the passing of it, but every time it's been challenged, the challenges have been blocked by federal courts. Our group's stance on this issue is that ultimately the right to have an abortion is on the mother to be or not to be. The question is whether she will do it legally or illegally, and the risk that she is willing to take to have the abortion. Anyone can push their ideas and criticize a woman's choice, but it is her choice to do what she will with her body. The consequences are her own to bear. Instead of judging other people and pushing our own morals and beliefs, wouldn't it be a better place if we each respected each other's decisions to do what's right for ourselves? Thank you very much.